Hello and welcome to another Total War Warhammer 2 multiplayer battle. This time it's a 2v2 again and we're on the map Aalslinger Conclave and we're playing as a Skaven with my new Bell and Furnace build together with a Bretonnian player who brought, well, Bretonnian units, who would have guessed, against two Tomb King players. One with a nice little hero titan here and naturally three groups of Uchaptis, one being the Chosen of the God, and behind that a lot of trash mobs, basically skeleton spearmen, yeah, they are the trash mobs, and then three groups of archers. I think I am getting flashbacks. I've seen this army once before, I guess, and they have a Tomb Prince as well as another Tomb King. No mage, it seems. Strange. Why would someone bring no mage? Well, let's go on to the other Tomb King's army. We have a group of skeleton spearmen, once again at the front. I think they are 6, yep, and two group of skeleton swordsmen. Yep, there are no Tomb Guard. And then once again 4 groups of archers and 2 groups of Uchaptis with great bows, without the Chosen of the Gods, as well as Camarian Warswings and a Tomb King on a chariot together with a Doom Squad of chariots. What a nice combination here. It's kind of rare to see these because no many players want to bring chariots, but they usually can rack up your lines if you don't watch out for them. So for my allies army we have a front line of 3 groups of men-at-arms, which, 2 men-at-arms with shields and 1 group of foot squires, and then in the back line we have 3 groups of men-at-arms with halberds, as well as 2 groups of Knights of the Realm, and then 3 groups of peasant bowmen. 2 with pox, 1 with fire arrows, as well as a group of Royal Pegasus Knights, which is a good call because the Tomb Kings usually don't bring too much in terms of air force. They have scary archers, but they usually also could distract them from hitting other targets like these knights, which are usually pretty good. As well as Luan Leoncoeur on his Bear Keith, or maybe on his normal Griffin, I can't really differentiate these two, as well as the Damsel of Life, with a passive life regrowth and Earthblood, as well as the Lady's Blessings, I think that's what, Aura of the Lady, which gives magical resistance, which may be useful against Tomb Kings. I'm not too sure about it. It has been a long time since I actually really played that much, and I'm not too much into the Tomb Kings to know their whole roster and capabilities, but I think they have some nasty AoEs, especially if they bring, how is it called, here, Arkan the Black, which they didn't, which might have been a mistake here. I mean, it probably buffs up the army. On the other side they have the Hyro Titan, which also deals magic damage, so not only with his normal attacks, but also with his abilities. So that's the Karstar, I guess, and yeah, the magic resistance can be pretty good against the Lore of Death if it's meant to do damage. Also against the Law of Beast, but whatever. And then for my army we have 4 groups of Skaven slaves with spears. Yes, I'm not getting rid of all Skaven slaves, just of the most of them. But still, what would a good Skarvan mass army be without Skaven slaves? Then 2 groups of actual clan rats. I said I'm not liking them, but against Tomb Kings I think they're a pretty good pick. And with their Strange in Numbers abilities, which is currently active, they actually have a decent melee defense, so I might have been a bit quick to judge them there. Quick like a Skaven. Haha. Well, they are still cannon fodder. And then behind that we have 2 groups of Plague Monks. Also I'm playing Clan Pestilence to have a nice little green look here. I thought that would be fitting for the Bell and Furnace build. And then 2 groups of Stormwormen on each flank, one. Also in nice little green colors here. I like the Pestilence color theme. And then 2 groups of Poison Wind Globadiers and 1 of Deathglobe Bombardiers. 1 unit. Just to have something against armor other than my 2 groups of Red Ogres on the flank. I thought if they brought cavalry or, well, these chariots, it might be good to have some red ogres on the flank. And if they don't just circle around and have them basically a bit protected by these woods and this thing here, even though I'm not sure if it should do too much protection, but at least it should catch 1 or 2 arrows. So I was positive, as well as 2, well, one Gracier, 1 Plague Priest, both with the lore of Plague. While the Gracier has the spell Pestilence Breath, Blast with Filth and Wither, and naturally his abilities, as well as the Protons of Verminous Doom, just to lower the Tomb King's leadership a bit. As well as the Plague Priest has also his 2 abilities, the one which basically gives minor speed and charge bonus, as well as, where is it? Well, naturally the Plague Furnace thing. Ah yes, the Scrying Stone, which gives him a bit damage resistance against, well, any focus fire that you might maybe expect from the Tomb Kings. Yeah, no, who would bring focus fire units as the Tomb Kings? I miss the good old days of Spirit Leech. No, I don't. And for spells I brought, once again, Pestilence Breath, Blast with Filth, Wither. Wait. Pretty sure I didn't bring Wither, but Vermintide. On one of these guys. Yeah, sorry. Vermintide instead of Wither. Just to have some summon units, since they don't seem to be bugged anymore, that they can basically one-shot heroes and stuff, pile on them. So, without further ado, I think I've talked for a pretty long time now. It has been a while, so I'm a bit talkative. But here we have our little rats swinging the furnace around, Warpstone, Pandal, as well as a Screaming Bell here with a Rat Ogre. Here we have the first fire going down, but it's going down into my Skaven Slave, so yeah. They are there to provide me with a bit of nice visuals while they're being taken apart. As you can see, their leadership is low, so their ability procs and they will run away shortly. Also, this player is drawing back his chariots, and at this point their archers are focusing on their important units, and I'm still marching forward and now slowly giving attack orders, while these archers, which are a real doom to my Vermintide, are firing at my guys, and their Ushabtis are firing at my Gracier, which is bad because he has no protection abilities, and in hindsight I probably should have switched these guys, since he has the physical protection thing. Also, the enemy is not counter-charging, which is good for me, so I'm getting the charge bonus and he is not getting any. Also, he's trying to charge his Warswing through, and I thought he wanted to go after my Plague Priest, but it seems he was scared off by these Storm Vermin and these guys and my Rat Ogres flanking around, so my Plague Priest gets a pretty good breath spell here. Also, we have the Ushabtis going back after being fired at by all these archers. Bretonnian archers are no small deal for these guys. They take damage. But at this point I'm thinking, what gives? I should bring my guy in, and he gets a bit friendly fire here. Here we have a little other Pestilence Breath going down while my Plague Monks come in. And I dropped his ability to save this unit from fleeing, I guess, or with this unit, I don't know. But it should have given a map-wide buff, or may have been a while ago. As you can see, the healing waves are proccing right now. And the Hero Titan is having his fun while we're exchanging fire, since they didn't retreat their Ushabtis. Here, good call. I thought my Ogres should have been enough to deal with these chariots, but I did forget that there was a Tomb King in there, so they are taking a lot of damage. Speaking of a lot of damage, he is not taking too much because he has a good shield. Also, Luin is taking care of these Ushabtis, which Chosen of the Gods, which try to retreat. And at this point we're kind of breaking their line here. And the Warswing is not trying to run out, which it probably should have done and messed up my backline. But they have summoned their Ushabtis here, which basically killed my priest. Also, we have a little fire exchange here. I mean, Skaven and Bretonnia are kind of matching, since they both have pretty colorful ranged troops. So, yeah, that's a thing. Also, we have these skeletons being swarmed by rats, as well as these Warswings being swarmed by Stormvermin, which is not good for it, as you can see. Even though they are tanky, they don't really survive too long. And as you can see, my rat ogres are getting buffed, but also the Bretonnian knights are... oh, they are Grey Knights. Okay, one group must have been Grey Knights, sorry. Are messing up the enemy's backline here. Still, their archers are still alive and kind of circling around the remains of this group of Grey Knights or something. Still, they shouldn't do too much, even though there is a unit of spearmen in. Since most of the units basically were able to disengage. Also, we have the chariots kind of running through the center because I kind of let it open. Yeah. And still, I had these guys free, so I basically was positioning them here, and they charged into my plague monks. Poor plague monks. They're not meant to fight chariots. And this is not Vermintide, where they can be pretty annoying, stronger than most of the rats. I mean, they are stronger than most of the Ratmen. Well, except maybe Stonevermin. But still, you know what I mean. Also, I think we had a few summons of Vermintide somewhere. Just to harass their archers, because they were firing at me. Also, here are the Grey Knights into their Ushabtis here. Pretty good call there. Here the Stormvermin is actually taking pretty much damage because their vigor is low, so their armor gets reduced. But still, they should come on top of these skeletons. Even though there are two groups and trying to circle around, but I managed to catch them with one group of my Skaven slaves. So yeah, take that, Tomb Kings. Also, we have another Vermintide going down here, basically to catch these archers, if necessary. They should run once everyone is in position, or something. Maybe they won't run? I don't know. Maybe they are dumb. Probably. These chariots are still roaming free, but since most of their army kinda is going down right now, their leadership starts to crumble all over the field. And go down for them too. And we have some nice green and red fire. Speaking of green and red, I really had a pretty damn nice soup there today, yesterday. Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Potato porridge. Something else, which I'm not sure what the English name is for. Damn it. And yeah, we have the Tomb King slowly falling apart here and dying. And now there are only troops remaining here for the Bretonnians. But since their elite units are down and they only have this group of archers with elite units, I mean the Ushabtis, they don't really, stand too much of a chance anymore, I guess. But we have the Great Relic going down here against the Tomb King. Ooh, also we had a little... This is a Pestilence Breath of the Bell, so I couldn't angle it. But I should cast one here at some point. Ooh. Yeah, these things are devastating. And I think I will make a full cinematic one after this, just because I have some news I'm going to talk about. Yeah. Or should I make it in a different video? I probably should make it in a different video and just use this as a background. Probably a good idea. So that was a nice little battle, and good thing that I'm currently knowing how to efficiently go against the Ushabtis with great bows, and my ally was knowing too with his good use of knights, and luckily they didn't have anything to counter knights on the flanks, so we were pretty lucky there. And let's take a little look at the kill counts. Naturally they are pretty high against all these skeletons, even though we were Skaven. Except for our Skaven slaves and clan rats. I mean, even the Skaven slaves got a good amount of kills, at least. I think that were the ones on the right flank. These were the ones on the left flank. They didn't get too much damage. They were running away and then getting back. And then I kind of used them to get between these skeleton chariots and stuff to kind of scare them away. Which is pretty efficient because they have basically the same symbol as basic spear clan rats, so that can be scary. And yeah, the Plague Monks did pretty good, which was to be expected, as well as the Stormwomen. I think this was the one that fought the Cambrian Warswings. And I have to say I really like Stormwomen. I mean, they just look cool. Red man with heavy, thick armor and colored in green. Awesome. And then for the Poison Wind Globadiers, some got good. These let's get to them later. These Poison Wind Globadiers, basically, I had them firing at my enemies. I think, yeah, that was a Cambrian player. At my enemies Ushabtis, since yeah, they are anti-large, and I think this group I had firing at the Cambrian Warswings too. So it was dealing a fair amount of damage there. Even though I think the Stormwoman did the most part. And the Death Globe Bombardier, since they didn't had any appropriate targets, I had them fire into the center skeleton mass, and yeah, as you can see, they messed them up good. And for my Red Ogres, they held these chariots back at the beginning of the game, so that was good, but sadly one got routed off pretty early and the other one didn't really get to do that much. And for my Gracier, yeah, when I bring this build, I kind of, especially against Tomb Kings, I kind of expect one of them to go down to have the other one survive at least a bit longer. Usually I hope that my Plague Priest survives a bit longer, since he has, protection ability. And yeah. And basically I want to have them together with the Skaven Slaves so that they can deal the damage, while the Skaven Slaves provide the mass. So, and for my ally, their frontline also did pretty good. Well, with some exception, but they were also shot at, so I'm not sure what happened there. But I wonder that the Foot Squires got so many kills, because as we saw at the beginning, it got kind of focused a bit. But it seems they still got through and massacred the skeletons. Can you massacre undeads? Ah, well, whatever. Yeah, you basically take them apart. And these peasant bowmen also did a good job. I think they were focusing at important targets like the Ushabtis and other units. And peasant bowmen are just great, especially against Tomb Kings, who usually go for a ranged heavy army, and they are the cheap alternative, and I think I've tested it. They should beat in a 2v1 Ushabti with great bows. So yeah, pretty cost efficient, as well as the knights who circled around, killed the Ushabtis with great bows, and were running off the field and basically wrecking havoc, since they didn't have any troops to protect their backlines. Yeah. And I think their chariots weren't really supposed to fight against knights. I mean, they messed up my Red Ogres, but still, I think they wouldn't have done well against knights, especially if they are supported by Kingly and Learncore. Just like saying this name. And woo, these men-at-arms also got pretty decent kills against all these cheap skeletons. And now for our enemies, one thing I absolutely have to say, why didn't they bring any majors? Honestly. Could have helped, they are not really that cheap, they could have left one unit of skeletons out and still would have, or maybe skeleton archers out, and maybe 600, maybe 2 units, 1 archer and 1 skeleton, and they would have had enough for, well, casters. Also, retreating those sharpties with great bows wasn't really the best idea because they were singled out in the backline and couldn't really do that much. And you shouldn't forget these guys are decent melee fighters, and you don't want to pay like 1,100 just for, well, especially good snipers. Especially if you have a Bretonnian cavalry force running in your backyard. And yeah, these chariots did pretty good. They fought my ogres, which I didn't expect to go down that hard against the Tomb King. I know that heroes are good against big creatures and stuff, but I thought on the chariot he might have been a bit weaker, but I guess his charge bonus was just too high for my red ogres to handle, and keep in mind they usually have a pretty bad defense skill. They're more the damage dealer type, as you might know from Warhammer Vermintide 2. Yeah, they are too pretty damage dealing and do not really care about defense. And yeah, the Camarine Warswings sadly got underused. It's a really, well, it's usually a pretty strong unit, especially since it has these jumping moves, but I think this player kind of forgot about it, and then it got kind of caught by my Storm Vermin and my Poison Wind Globadiers, so it wasn't taking that too well. But it could have broken out there pretty easily, I guess, because moves just let it run out of an unit, and it's pretty hard to pin these guys down. And actually, these guys and the Necro Sphinxes were the reason why I brought Red Ogres, to just have something to match their speed and kind of catch them so that my other units can catch up and my Poison Wind Globadiers aren't that threatened. Yeah. And then for the other player, the Hyro Titan only got 74 kills. I don't know how much the Spirit Leech and Champs Burning Gaze were used, but not too much. Well, they could have been used, but maybe not on the right targets or something. It's pretty annoying if you misclick Spirit Leech on a unit instead of a Lord. But these two sharpties were mostly, sniping units. Like my poor Gracier. And once again, no caster, which is pretty sad, especially since they have Arkan, which is a pretty good caster and has pretty good passive abilities. And I mean, they had their Tomb Prince and the Tomb King pretty much split up so that they didn't profit from the Tomb Prince protection thing, so kind of sad. But I guess it was mostly to provide leadership while the ranged troops basically shoot everything down. But sadly the melee troops were just too slow to follow the Bretonnian cavalry, which probably secured our victory. So I hope you enjoyed this battle and have a nice day. Bye!